So welcome to another video interview for the Merchant of Magic. This week we have a very special guest. He is Johannes Mengel. He is from Estonia and he is the creator of the brilliantly new Breaking Point. So say hello, Johannes.
Hello, guys.
So Johannes, you've been around in the Magic community for quite a while, yet you seem to pick and choose your moments very carefully as to what you put out there or anything like that. Can you just tell everyone a bit about yourself, where you come from, etc., and just your story, if you like?
Well, yes, sure. First of all, now I'm 28 and I'm from Estonia, Tallinn, and creating magic is just one of the many things I do. I also compose music and write short stories, and there's like a bunch of things I do. But magic is it has been with me since 2008, I think, and then I started working with my first effect, and basically I continued working with only this one effect until it was ready to be released, and that was like only 2 years ago. 2014, and now I released my second effect, and basically all my experience with magic comes from creating my own effects, and I like take all my time I have with magic, basically focusing, fine-tuning my own effects. So it's really like this closed process for me, and I do not share these ideas before I feel that I'm really like this confident in those ideas.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I've noticed seeing you know, obviously with your previous breakthrough and now with Breaking Point, you got in touch with us a few days ago, but you've like everything you've thought of everything. You know, you haven't just come to us with an idea, you've come to us with a complete. You know, your video demo is amazing. You've gone out, you've got such great live performances. You have all your ad campaign and everything all up and running. You really do think a lot about your products, and you put a lot behind it, which is great. It's really quite refreshing to see in this day and age where things are just pumped out almost on a daily basis, it seems. So, can you tell us a bit more about Breaking Point and what Breaking Point is?
Yeah, well, Breaking Point is a finger dislocation effect where I dislocate my finger and then I'm able to bend it in different ways, and then obviously putting it back in place as well, because, you know, as magicians, our hands is how we make our living. So I don't want everyone, losing their income because of this effect. So I'm teaching how to put it back in place as well.
Yeah, I like your tagline, "Magic just got real," because this really is something that the spectators feel themselves. Like, there are body illusions that are almost comical and almost like visual comedy, but then there's body illusions like this. And then when you spoke to me first about it, I think I told you I haven't seen anything this good. There's been two others that I rate, which are Freak and Shinko's Arm Twist, and this is right up there with it. Really is. It's refreshing to see something that isn't just a kind of thumb stretch kind of comedy.
Thank you. It's really honor for me to see how magic community has received my ideas, because breakthrough was my first effect I ever created, and Breaking Point is my second. But I have just, stick with those ideas until I am happy with them, and it's just a really good feeling to see magic community, how they respond to my ideas. Even though I don't really consider myself a magician, and I really love creating magic. That's my thing.
So something I noticed when you're performing, you sell your magic. You know, you sell it like it's real, and you act very kind of well as you're performing it, not just with Breaking Point, with other things I've seen you do, but would you, how much How do you think spectators should perform this? Do you think it's more sort of 90% acting and 10% technique, or do you think because I imagine the more you act and sell this, the better the reactions. Would you say that's fair?
Well, magic is a performance art, so it doesn't matter how good the effect is. Eventually, what you get, the response from the audience, it's about the performer and his skill to, so to say, present the effect. So definitely, I would say this acting or these performance skills are important to this effect. But yeah. I couldn't really say percentage-wise, how much, but.
So just running through a few points, this really is, it's a very kind of guttural kind of like effect to watch for spectators. But as far as performing it, you don't need super stretchy, bendy fingers. You don't need extra gimmicks or anything like that. Have you got sort of, there are some key points which are really nice like that. Have you got any other advice for beginners or people looking into buying this that you can reassure them you're not going to, break your finger trying this or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually share on the product myself that I have very, very stiff fingers. So anyone can do it. And when I have taught it live to people, then most people have gotten down all the moves just like this few minutes. And but of course, it takes practice to be able to perform it in a believable way. But in the sense of getting hurt or this being harmful in any way, that's not the case with this effect, definitely.
So have you got a favorite place or time that you perform this? Would you open with it? Is it just a gut feeling when you think it's the right people, the right crowd, the right audience for this, or do you just go for it with anyone that you see?
Actually, also on the product, I teach my whole routine of body magic, which I use. And there are several effects, some of my own, some not my own, and I also give recommendations to check out other body illusions as well. So I actually share how I use it. But quickly to share it here as well, I usually start with this classic hand twisting illusion when I'm performing to this bigger crowd, get them in, and then start doing and showing something more extreme. Freak by Will Houston, which you also mentioned, and then my own effect of course, and combining all these body illusions. This is really good because for layman, even this simple trick as this classic hand twisting illusion, this is already like mind-blowing for them. And when I show breaking point, then there's like no doubt left anymore that what I'm able to do with my body is real.
Yeah. So you're quite happy just to bust this out, to anyone and everyone. You don't sort of pick and choose and go, oh, they might react badly to it, or are you just happy? Do you feel with your performance you're comfortable showing anyone this sort of thing?
Well, first I was, but because I didn't believe this to be extreme myself, because I knew that I'm a magician, it's a trick, come on people. But when I started performing it and saw that people do not even if I say it's illusion, it doesn't really get to them, and they are like this affected by it as well. And after that, I usually say that what I'm going to show you is not for the faint-hearted. So if people are not into that kind of stuff, they can look away.
Feel free to say no. Is there any chance you would be able to show the dislocation of your finger, just that part? You can say no if you like. It would just...
Yeah, I can show you the whole routine if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah, if you can. Go ahead, do it. I'm ready to squirm.
Okay. I'll try to do a close-up with this webcam now. Okay.
So foul. That noise. That's seriously. That was great. That noise is just so disturbing. And do you know what? I know quite a lot of body effects and things like that. And I was well off on the method of this. The method is so much cooler and so much simpler than I thought it was. But it's genius in its own right. So yeah, I was literally miles away with some of your subtleties. I thought I knew how you were doing them, but then if I was trying to do it, I was like, oh, I can't quite work this out. It's because you've got a much more direct and simple, better way of doing it, which is really fresh, really nice to see. So,
yeah, thank you.
So how did you come up with it? Was it something which you did, like came up with one part of it and then added more phases, or did the whole routine just blurt out to you?
It started with the sound, and I discovered it completely by accident, how it was possible to do it only with my own hands. And it stayed on that level for quite some time. It was only the sound that people were reacting to. But when I saw Freak by Will Houston, then it got me thinking, how can I add visual part to it as well? So now it has like this audible visual part, and all these different elements have come over time, definitely, and even the same moves which I did 7 years ago, which I still do today. I have refined them, and they look much better, even though I already had the move 7 years ago. So I've worked with this effect a lot, and I'm really happy with it. So. And the feedback I have gotten so far from the customers, it has been also like this fantastic. People have written that they just showed it to someone, and even though they said it was illusion, the people didn't believe the performer. So
yeah, I think that sound is so convincing. It's really, really great, and I'm not quite as good as you yet, but it's all I've been doing for like the past couple of days. It's quite an addictive thing to play around with.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is how I first started. If you know how it is created, then you can practice it, do it whenever. Just watching a movie, or it's really.
Yes, one of those annoying things that you'll just have your partner be like, "Shut up! Stop doing that."
That's true. You have to practice still alone, not to freak out people.
So, what would you say the most important part of the routine? Would you say just the first initial dislocation is the most important for getting your spectators freaking out?
Actually, not, because at first I was very in love with the sound, of course, because this is what's unique about this effect. But to stay honest as a performer, then I would have to say that this is just one element. This is just one convincer to get so to say party starting. But when I do the bends, this is what gets spectators also reacting. And even if I do not use the sound, I can only use one bend of the 3 bends I do. it's still an awesome effect to spectators to experience. And in that sense, I would want to say like, yeah, the sound is the most important thing and what I discovered, but it's not.
That's really interesting, because I totally thought it would be. But obviously, you having performed it for years, know better. So that's quite interesting, because it shows you how differently you think as a magician as opposed to a lay person, like a spectator would think. So
yeah, it's quite common that magicians overthink about the effects, and also this is what I experienced with my first effect, breakthrough. Many people, magicians, were crazy about this being a visual effect. That is absolutely not the point of this effect. It's the audible element in this breakthrough effect, and in this effect it is the opposite. That people think it's the audible part, the sound, but here is actually the visual part.
yeah, that's quite interesting. So, what would you say? Have you ever had like a spectator really react badly to this? Have you had a negative experience with it, or is it all generally just people freaking out, wincing, and then congratulating you at the end?
Most people, yeah, they in the end they get it that it was a performance, even though they think it's real. They take it as a performance, like I'm an artist and that was my show, and so they applaud to me. But once there was one guy on the street who got really like this upset by this effect, and
was that the English person in the demo that was like, no, just stop that now, stop it?
No, I don't have that on the video. I was hitchhiking, and this German couple picked me up, and then they asked, okay, what do I do? Then instead of telling them, I decided to demonstrate them. And then the guy was really like this, shocked by it, and then his girlfriend had to calm him down. So after that, I started to take this more seriously, like having more like this respect to my audience as well. It's like that. It's not about me. I want to do this, and you have to watch. It's like I asked their permission also, like this. Do they want to see something that I'm able to do, or so? Yeah, it's.
I think that's a really good thing to do to start this, because for two reasons. One, it's going to show you straight away who's interested and who doesn't want to see this kind of thing,
yeah.
Which is great, because you don't want to force, as you say, somebody to watch something they don't want to see. But also, it's a bit like David Blaine's first TV show, where they said there are no actors or stooges used in this show. It sets them up. It makes them feel like something amazing is about to happen. It's coming. Something great is coming. So yeah, that's to actually ask if they're okay with seeing this at the beginning is quite a good starting point, I'd say. So yeah, that's a good insight. I like that.
And actually, I did not talk about it. Didn't talk about it on the product, but for me, it is much more than just a magic trick and freaking out with people. When I'm performing it, then of course it depends on the situation as well. But I actually have a meaning by this effect, behind this effect as well. Why am I performing it, and what do I want to demonstrate with this effect to people? And it is not absolutely magic related, but if you are interested, I could share it here.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's great. So what is next? What's next for the Mengel brothers?
Oh, I was asking that that I have this meaning also with this effect when I'm presenting it. Like, do you want to hear how's my presentation goes?
Oh, sorry, my apologies. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah. So when I finish my effect, then I ask people what was their experience, and then people usually pour out their emotions, like, oh, when you did this and that, then it made me feel like that, and people describe their experiences. But I actually use this effect to demonstrate how people create their own experiences. That what they experienced, you know, emotionally, that it was not what I did, but what the meaning they give to what they experience, what they observe. So this is also because I also do coaching and consulting to people, and I see that many issues people have is that they do not understand how they are the creators of their own experiences. And I think this effect demonstrates this really well, because what spectators are experiencing, they're experiencing only because of the meaning they put into what they are observing. You know, even though I'm from my side saying it is an illusion, you know, their invested belief and interpretation is what, so to say, comes back to them in terms of emotions and feelings. And for many people, this has been like this actually an insight. Like this, that has really helped them in their life. Even though it's a gross magic trick, it can be used for good purposes.
That's really insightful. I like that. Thank you. That's some great advice as well, because magic really does only exist in a spectator's mind, and if you can't switch them onto that, then you'll never maybe strike the chords that you're trying to strike with your magic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's great. I love that. So yeah, sorry. What have you got next? Have you got anything else coming up? Have you got anything else you've been working on for nearly a decade that's almost ready, or what's going on?
Well, I have several effects. I'm working on right now, and I have me and my brother have one effect as well that has been in development since 2008, and we wanted to release it together with Breakthrough, but when the time came, then we didn't feel it was ready, even though we had filmed the DVD twice already. And we have tried to give it out like this every year after that, but we just, you know, we cannot so to say lower our standards. If we have not given our all to it, then we can't release it. So this is still waiting to find its right form to give out. But yeah, we have several things coming.
That's great. That's really refreshing to hear. You know, that you have ideas that you feel you could have put out. You've filmed the DVD twice already, but you don't feel it's ready because you haven't given your all to it. I really respect that, and especially in this day and age where it's so easy to put up a video download or something like that. So yeah. So your brother, is he more behind the camera, or does he perform magic as well?
So far, he has been more behind the camera, but actually, he was the one who got me into magic. He was learning card tricks and was showing them to me, and that's how I got into magic. But we have been creating magic both, but so far we have not find the right solutions yet for this. He's using this cards and card tricks, and we have not found the right solution for his tricks yet.
Okay, that's cool. So how do you get your ideas? Do you find they just because this is, a lot of people have a slightly different variation. You either go for the idea and then try and get the method, or do you come across the method first? Is it a general mix? Do you have a process?
I don't have like a certain process. It's really like it happens to me. For example, the Breakthrough and Breaking Point both are based on an accidental discoveries. I just discovered, and then I later used them to create the magic effect. And of course, when watching other people perform, I get also ideas like how I would perform this effect, and sometimes I come up with my own method, but mostly it just happens.
I get that. So I get creative highs and creative lows, and sometimes I can't switch it off, and sometimes I just can't can't do anything. You know, it just kind of, like you say, happens, if you like. So yeah. Do you have, I'd say, do you have like one bit of advice that you'd like to give to anybody who's a complete novice, a complete beginner in Magic?
In terms of breaking point or in general?
In general, just in general. Just to hit you with that.
My recommendation would be to stick to only few effects when learning, and really mastering few effects first. And this is what already gives you the ability to do what Magic is meant to do, is to, you know, inspire and touch people. But nowadays it's a lot about consumption. Just you know, magicians scratch their own itch for something new, but they do not actually use it the way Magic is meant to be used. And so a lot of potential, a lot of experiences never happen because of that.
Sure.
Lack of this dedication, and also this service mindset. Okay, why am I doing this? Why am I learning this?
Sure. That's good. That's good. So what would you, and also on the topic of advice, what one piece of advice would you give somebody that is just starting to learn breaking point and wants to go out and perform it? What would you say to them if they had a one-on-one kind of training session with you where you taught them personally?
I think I would actually recommend first trying different elements separately. Just first use just the sound and see how people are reacting, or do only some of the bends. And if you already get reactions from these, then you know that when you put them together, then you have the masterpiece. When each element you are doing already has an impact on a spectator, then you know you are doing these moves right.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Good piece of advice. Good piece of advice. So that is a great thing about this routine, is that it is in stages, so you can kind of use them at different times. And if you could just use that dislocation noise just as I've just got to warm up here kind of thing, crack, and just like a neck cracker almost, or something like that. But it's a neck cracker with no neck cracker gimmick. I love it. So yeah, I think we've covered just about everything that we can think of right now. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend chatting to all of our customers and everyone online. So I'd just like to say thank you to everyone watching, and to thank you, Johannes. If you want to just say hello, goodbye, whatever, anything to sign off to everyone.
Yes, thank you also for this opportunity to share my creation and share my ideas with people. And it was really, really awesome experience. Great.
So Breaking Point is available at Merchant of Magic to download. So you can just hit us up at merchant or magicshop.co.uk. And you'll see the banners, you'll see the adverts for it everywhere. There is one final thing. Johannes, you have some bonus material that you are willing to share with everyone, haven't you?
Yep.
So how do the customers go about getting that? That's after you buy Breaking Point, everything is in the tutorial for that?
Yeah, they get everything on the product.
That's great. That's really great news. So thanks again, Johannes. This has been a video interview from Merchant of Magic. I'm Ben Williams. This was for Johannes Mengel from the Mengel brothers about Breaking Point. Say goodbye, Johannes.
Thank you, guys. Until next time.
All right, take care.